Hello, this is News Plus on Viewer Television. I am Franco Boniface. President Bola Tinubu is set to launch the Renewed Hope Policy Town Hall meeting on Monday in Lagos. The movement is geared towards fortifying community policing and encouraging Nigerians to engage with his administration's Renewed Hope Police agenda. The Minister of State for Police Affairs, Honorable Imam stakeholders in Lagos during the town hall meeting, emphasizing the importance of the initiative. He highlighted that similar meetings would take allowing citizens to voice their opinions on security matters, aligning with global best practices, recognizing the diversity among communities and their unique security challenges. The minister emphasized the need for tailored community policy and strategies to address specific local concerns effectively. Then the House of Representatives has underscored the need for international collaboration in the bid to tackle the scourge of corruption in Nigeria. Chairman House Committee on Anti-Corruption, Honorable Kayode, who disclosed this in Abuja during the inaugural meeting of the Standing Committee, reiterated the 10th Assembly's readiness to strengthen transparency and accountability through collaboration and legislative reforms, while assuring the civil society organizations and international organizations of robust engagement in the discharge of the committee's duty. Honorable Akiolu assured Nigerians that the committee will ensure effective monitoring and evaluation of the efforts of the anti-corruption agencies. The lawmaker, who harped on the need to combat corruption and uphold the integrity of our great nation, pledged his resolve to lead the committee towards significant progress in the fight against corruption in Nigeria, in line with the House of Representatives' agenda to ensure transparent governance and accountability.
3. Overseeing anti-corruption efforts. Conducting site visits to anti-corruption agencies is an important step in monitoring and evaluating their efforts in mitigating corruption. This visit allows for a direct observation of their practices, procedure, and system in place to combat corruption. By physically being present at this institution, we can assess the implementation of the anti-corruption measures, identify areas that require improvement. Site visit provides a comprehensive evaluation of the agency's effort and help ensure accountability and transparency in anti-corruption endeavor. By verifying the effectiveness of the measures through first-hand assessment, we can identify any potential gap or area of concern. This allows us to provide targeted recommendations, support to enhance the anti-corruption initiative. Overall, conducting regular visits to anti-corruption agencies is a valuable approach to monitor, evaluate their efforts in mitigating corruption. It enables us to assess their practice system, ensure accountability, and provide support for continuous improvement in their fight against corruption.
Now looking into the Kaduna bombing, the House of Representatives says it will monitor the investigation of the military drone attack that led to the death of over 80 Nigerians in Kaduna State last week Sunday. The chairman of the House Committee on Defense, Honorable Babajimi Benson, said this in a statement titled Tudunbiri Tragedy Elicits Profound Sorrow, made available to reporters in Abuja on Saturday. While expressing regrets over the ugly incident, Honorable Benson offered condolences to the government of Kaduna and the families of the victims. He tasked authorities of the Nigerian Army and other security agencies to prioritize the safety of civilians during operations, exercise utmost caution, and implement measures to prevent similar occurrences in the future. The Catholic Archbishop of Kaduna Diocese, Archbishop Matthew, has described the Nigerian army bombing in Tudunbiri as accidental, even though it must have led many people into distress and loss of loved ones and dependents. Archbishop Matthew said this during a condolence visit to the Barao Diko Teaching Hospital to sympathize with the victims.
It is accident, and accidents are accident. That's why they are called accident. You don't plan for them, and so it's unfortunate. All that this calls for is that the military, they are professionals, and therefore they will have to do more in terms of intelligence gathering, and you collect, you sift, and ensure. In Catholic moral teaching, in moral theology, they say, "In doubt, don't act." In doubt, you do not act. So if you are not sure, pretty sure, 100% sure, do not act. And therefore, I think that is a principle that I'm sure the military, they have it. In doubt, do not act.
On behalf of the Chief Medical Director, I appreciate it, and thank you very much for this show of concern. So thank you very much.
Yes.
And we pray that this will never happen again.
Yeah.
Yes. So thank you very much. State government has taken over everything, all their needs, including nutritional needs, psychosocial needs, educational needs, protection, as well as clothing. Yes.
So speaking, the Director of Administration, Ilyasu Yusuf, who received the gifts items and cash token of 200,000 from the Archdiocesan team, commended the church for identifying with the victims and promised to judiciously utilize the donations. He further disclosed that the government has promised to take full responsibility in caring for the victims. The Katsina state government has inaugurated a special committee to probe the omission of some qualified candidates, current discrepancies, and other issues trailing the recruitment of 7,325 primary and secondary school teachers by the state government. The State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Zainab, disclosed this to journalists at the Katsina Government House Press Center shortly after the 8th State Regular Executive Council meeting presided by Governor Diko. She explained that the committee was set up following genuine complaints of some key stakeholders regarding the recent teachers recruitment exercise. According to Musawa, this will enable the government to give employment offers to 22 qualified candidates omitted and strike out 152 names from the list of the 7,325 recruited teachers because they did not sit for the recruitment examination. She maintained that 11 persons will also be removed from the initial list because they were not qualified. The Nigerian People's Party has described the purported plot by the party and Kwankwasia movement to occupy Supreme Court and foreign missions in Nigeria as a figment of the imagination of the coalition of civil society organizations for democracy and its sponsors. The All Progressive Congress, a statement signed by NNPC's acting national chairman Abba Ali and made available to the newsmen in Abuja, described the purported occupation as laughable and shows the desperation with which the APC in Kano will go to seize power at all costs. According to the statement, APC has resorted to blackmail, intimidation, and falsehood to hoodwink unsuspecting members of the public, the judicial and security agencies, because it knows that it has no case at the Supreme Court. The NNPP, however, retreated its confidence in the judiciary to dispense justice in the case involving Governor Abba Yusuf and APC candidate Nasiru during the March 18, 2023 governorship election. We'll be going on a short break, and when we return, News Plus continues. Stay tuned.
morning, gentlemen. I'm at the Envoy Hotel, Diplomatic Drive 305, here for a business weekend. It's been an amazing stay. Conference hall and business facilities here are stylish and innovative. The Envoy Hotel is luxury, esoteric, opulence, for ultimate comfort.
Discerning travelers, we are more than just a place to stay. We are an icon of comfort, style, and thoughtful luxury. We are Envoy Hotel.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is News Pulse on Viewer Television. Now, the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Mohammed Adoke permission to travel to the United Arab Emirates to visit his family. Adoke is on trial with Aliu Abubakar, a property developer, for alleged money laundering amounting to 300 million. Adoke's lawyer Kanu invoked Section 36 and 37 of the 1999 Constitution, requesting permission for the ex-AGF to travel and meet his family. He explained that he has been unable to visit his family in the UAE since the start of the trial. Agabi argued that spending time with his family was crucial for Adoke's physical and mental health and urged the court to grant his request. He emphasized that Adoke has consistently attended all court proceedings since being granted bail and showed no intention to flee. Now, misuse of public funds. The Kano state government says it has blocked leakages that might lead to the misuse of public funds by those in authority and in the state. Governor Abba Yusuf disclosing this at the commemoration of the 2023 International Anti-Corruption Day on Saturday in Kano, represented by his deputy Aminu. Governor Yusuf explained that some of the giant strides taken by the state government during towards ensuring a better life for the people of the state are evidence of the fact that it does not tolerate corruption. The governor added that the government has resumed payment of salaries to civil servants without unnecessary deductions introduced by his immediate predecessor. He further disclosed that the public properties illegally acquired by individuals during the last administration have been recovered and put to public use, giving an example of the Hasia Bayero Pediatric Hospital. The Central Bank of Nigeria said its attention has been drawn to the circulation of counterfeit banknotes. The banking regulator noted that the counterfeit notes were common with higher denominations by some individuals for transactions in food markets and other commercial centers across major cities in the country. In a statement signed by the Acting Director of Corporate Communications (CBN), CD Hakama, this development came as bank depositors continued to complain of cash shortage, both from automated teller machines and over-the-counter in the banks. Naira scarcity has lingered despite the CBN's directives to the banks to continue to issue and accept old and redesigned Naira notes. Debunked the alleging that the state governor Yahaya directed staff audit of all state workers, adding the ongoing exercise is purely an internal routine for biodata update by the Office of the Head of Civil Service, especially after the last screening. In a rejoinder signed by the head of service, she pointed out that the officer Fodumila, who painfully died during the in-house exercise, was said to have been sick before the exercise and that he had in recent time slumped elsewhere before this fateful day. Odio added that as against the falsehoods reported by one online news, the incident happened around 11 a.m. shortly after he arrived to the venue. She, however, commiserated with the family of the deceased and prayed for peaceful repose of the soul deceased. Now looking into Borno restoration, Borno State Governor Baba Gana has reiterated his administration's commitment to remodel and reclaim the state to its position as regional hub for development in the northeast. The governor stated this through the Commissioner of the Information, Professor Usman Ta, during a town hall meeting on social reorientation for peace, security and development in Maiduguri. He noted that his administration is working audaciously with its 25-year development and 10-year strategic transformation plan to revive the values, morals, and restore the dignity of the state. Governor Zulum called on stakeholders, communities, youths to promote attitudinal change that will renew the pride in Borno's values and, importantly, take ownership of the developmental programs and imbibe livelihood strategies, as well as contribute to economic development of Borno State.
Cannot stand on sustainable basis unless we have a change of attitude. 80% of society will be engaged in economically productive activities, will live in peace and harmony side by side, will respect each other, will respect our values, will not allow foreign values to come and encroach and contaminate our value systems of pride, of self-sufficiency, of respect, of subservience to constituted authority.
Take 5 minutes, just take 5 minutes to reflect on on your own personal responsibility for building back Borno, on your own personal responsibility on the future of this state, on your own personal responsibility on what you need to do differently in your own lives, because change has to do with me.
Media is also another very important factor or important agency that we can use to reorient our community. Both the conventional media as well as the social media are factors. Therefore, from the home up to our society, up to the community, up to our peer groups, we need to actually see what we can do with what content our societies, our youths are looking at. Places like China, Japan, and what have you actually see in certain what they need their youth to see is what they will see.
The Nigerian polytechnics have been urged to employ more financial outlets that will harness their resources in order to improve their internal generated revenues beyond the traditional sources of making money from the school fees. The call was made by the rector of Abubakar Tatari Aliu Polytechnic, Dr. Hasim Sabo, during a meeting of Forum of Directors of Consultancy Units of Polytechnic held in Bauchi. Our Bauchi State correspondent Awal Hassan completes the story.
The meeting for Forum of Directors of Consultancy Units of Polytechnic, which was held at the Abubakar Tatar Polytechnic in Bauchi, draws participants from different parts of the country with a view to finding more ways of improving the IGR of the polytechnics. While addressing the participants, Rector of ATAP, Dr. Hasim Sabo, emphasizes the need for idea exchange amongst them in order to tap from their different wealth of experiences.
Beyond the traditions of the consultancy unit, that the revenues always comes from student registration, but they should be looking beyond, so that they should be looking at other financial outlets. Now that we are living in the fast moving world, many opportunities abound that they need to at least see this thing critically so that they can be able to harness more source of income for the polytechnic.
As part of the corporate social responsibility, the Abubakar Tatar Ali Polytechnic contributes in many ways to the host community, which also serves as a way of generating money by the institution, as put forward by the Acting General Manager, Consultancy Service of ATAP.
Firstly, we employ people, those that are educated and those that are not educated. Those that are educated, we employ them to become because we have a nursery and primary and secondary school. They become teachers. We have pure water industry. So even if you are not educated, you can be part of the working team. Then we have block industry, which we employ the community, that is the community people, mostly people from Wuntin Dada and some even from the Bauchi metropolis.
Emphasis here is laid on sharing an exchange of ideas between these directors with different wealth of business experience in order to explore more ways of improving IGR at their respective institutions.
I think this conference will be a conference of cross-fertilization of ideas, where others learn from the rest.
All of us are going to join our heads together to see how we can contribute to each other.
Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
You're still watching News Plus on Viewer Television. International news comes to you right after the break. Stay tuned. And now on international news, the U.S. Department of Treasury has sanctioned Uganda's Commissioner General of Prisons, Johnson, over allegations of torture in the country's correctional facilities. The sanction comes just days after the U.S. imposed visa restrictions on unnamed Ugandan government officials believed to be behind the human rights violations and repressions of marginalized groups in the country. The U.S. said in a statement that since 2005, when Bayabashia was appointed as prisons boss, Uganda's prison service members have engaged in torture and other serious human rights abuse against prisoners held within UPS facilities. Members of the vulnerable groups, including government critics and members of Uganda's LGBTQI+ community, have been beaten and held without access to legal counsel, the U.S. statement read. Then on Israel-Gaza conflict, the United States vetoed a United Nations resolution backed by almost All other Security Council members and many other nations demanding an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, where Palestinian civilians are facing what the UN chief calls a humanitarian nightmare. The U.S. Deputy Ambassador Robert Wood criticized the Council after the vote for its failure to condemn Hamas' October 7th massacre in Israel, in which thousands of terrorists killed about 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and took about 240 hostages to acknowledge Israel's right to defend itself. Wood said the resolution was divorced from reality and would have not moved the needle forward on the ground. He declared that halting military action would allow Hamas to continue to rule Gaza and other plant the seeds for the next war. Would attack the resolution sponsors, criticizing them for rushing it through and also leaving the call for an unconditional ceasefire unchanged. Still looking into the Israel-Gaza war, foreign ministers from the Middle East visited Washington and called for an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Gaza war, a fruitless diplomatic push as the U.S. rejected a UN resolution calling for a truce. The group met U.S. Secretary of State Antony, but not only after the U.S. had vetoed a resolution at the UN Security Council calling for a ceasefire. The Saudi foreign minister called for urgent steps towards the ceasefire in Gaza and the delivery of food and medical supplies. He said he told Blinken that all possible efforts must be made to reduce the threat of war in Gaza, spreading with dangerous and repercussions on international peace and security. The state Saudi press agency reported the Saudi foreign minister said stability needs to be restored, as well as a path of peace to ensure that the Palestinian people obtain their legitimate rights. A fire broke out in a hospital on Rome's outskirts, killing at least 3 people and forcing the overnight evacuation of the smoke-filled facility and its patients, officials said. The patient in intensive care at St. John the Evangelist Hospital in Tivoli were transferred immediately to other hospitals via ambulance. Less critical patients were moved into a nearby municipal gymnasium and then transferred to other facilities. The governor of the Lazio region, Francisco Rocco, said from the scene that 3 people were killed and an investigation will determine the cause of the blaze. He acknowledged 3 were notably delays in updating Italy's aging hospitals with sprinkler systems and other fire safety infrastructure. Italian firefighters spray water on a building of the San Giovanni Evangelista Hospital after a fire broke out, causing the death of 3 people in Tivoli, Italy Friday, December 8, 2023. The fire department initially said 4 people were killed after the blaze broke out late Friday. Italian news reports said the confusion arose because a body already in the hospital morgue was initially counted among the fire victims. And that's all on News Plus. Many thanks for watching. I am Franco Boniface. Stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.